This is how I do my little head wrap. Lots of people think I'm African. When they ask me, I say Australian. And they go, Australian what? I say, Australian what? Aboriginal. So, yeah, there we go.
I got a guy who's always late every time we have a date, but I love him.
Often people think I'm American. They don't realise it's a shock to see Indigenous people singing jazz. Most country western.
Georgia, Georgia.
The curiosity of being on stage and people's reaction to my voice, to my presence on stage, makes me laugh, and I get up there and give it to them.
The pines.
Even if I'm not singing on stage, I'm singing on the inside, because each step that I take with my body and my disability, it's rhythm as I walk through life. It's what I call patch up, my patch up routine. I have severe lymphedema. That is basically in all its glory. I went to Fiona Woods for plastic surgery to fillet me like a fish. This trauma of the surgery would be too much. So I said cosmetic surgery to make it look right. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I used to be an athlete. Basketball or anything with a ball I was mad about. Can't do basketball now. Because stolen generation, I didn't know about my medical history or my mum's. When I had Keith, because I had Keith at 22, my legs just ballooned up to massive proportions with the pregnancy. But I thought, if I don't have Keith, I'll never have a child, so Keith was it. And I knew I was going to have a son. So the risk was minimal to the benefits of having Keith. I used to sit there and watch Mum cook. She was a fabulous cook. I don't call her my adopted mum. That's what I find really awkward. There is no adopted, there is no nothing. They're my mum's. My father being a politician, we had Gough Whitlam and his wife at our house when I was 13 or 12 or something like that, when my father was accepted as Supreme Court judge. And my mum cooked this amazing banquet of food, and it took her several days to organise it, and I watched her do it. I was only about 12 or something like that, and that's how I got into cooking. But just watching my mother cook for us kids was enough. With love. I like once a fortnight have a meal with Mum and Justin lunchtime, where it's okay for all of us to be together, and that's how we share. We continue the cycle of food and sharing and all of that sort of stuff, which is what happens when I get back to Roban as well.
You know, on reflection of that period of time, obviously there was Lois, who, Aboriginal girl, and me, white kid, and, quite a contrast there, you might say. I was thinking about that in the modern day. You'd have, a 3-day workshop on, how are you going to cope? How are you going to cope with an Aboriginal person coming into your family, and what are the issues you're facing? There was none of that. It was basically, well, this is your sister, and I grew up with her always being there.
As Justin said, she always was totally part of the family. I've always felt really strongly that I'm her mother, and I've always feel really strongly that she acknowledges that.
So there was a fear for Mum Jennifer Olney to let me go. She thought that I wanted to change my name to Bobby, and I said no, because I'm an Olney. I've got two families now. I was such a free spirit. She always knew that I would, eventually bounce back to the Olney family.
And Loie arrived at 18 years old looking for an Aboriginal connection, because she'd come from this other world on the other side of Perth, and she was looking for an Aboriginal connection, and she came and asked me if I knew a connection. So we said, right, we'll take you out and introduce you to the Aboriginal communities.
I knew I could, if I found somebody that could make that connection for me, I'd be at ease, because I was sort of
not familiar with people, eh?
Yeah, I didn't know any of my family, and Auntie Jace and Nan were the most kind-hearted people to befriend me and make me feel at ease for, or a longing for my biological family. That's what I was craving. I was conceived at Pannywanika Station. My mum worked there, I don't know how as a cook or whatever. And then she came and had me in Roeburn Hospital at 15.
We were happy to meet her because we finally met our big sister. So all the grandmothers were telling us about our big sister. So we was really happy that we finally got to meet our big sister. But it was very sad when she came and met us, because she was looking for our mother. And we already think our mother were already passed on before she came and met us.
In the 60s, well, it was like no young girls was allowed to have babies in the 60s because there was welfare at that time, and they to have taken any young girl's baby away and put them in another home.
Because she's only 15 when she first had Lois. Brenda.
Brenda.
Brenda, her name was, when she first born, Brenda Bobby.
She was a part of our family. It's very upsetting when families have been taken away from you.
You went to visit Mama at the cemetery?
Yes, I did. And then I found out I had a whole lot of other mums. So that sort of comforted me. If I missed out on my own mother, I still had these other beautiful mums.
All the mothers want her to be happy, Lois, she missed out on the knowledge and the culture and the language. So now she's back with us, so we're going to give it all to her. We're going to be teaching her everything. She missed out on all that, and we missed out on her too.
An auntie from Geraldton, Julie Brockman, rings me up and tells me my dad's sick in hospital and he was dying of asbestosis because he'd worked in Whitlam. And I met him 8 times before he passed away. He was shocked. He could see the likeness. Oh my God. And this. Yay! Yeah, he is my dad. And he said, I'm not sure if I am your father, but I accept you as my daughter. And that was it. Just sealed the deal for me. It was really overwhelming for me because I was sort of in a time warp, and there was this huge gap of not growing up with Nana and family. And sort of when I stepped back into the family, it was all that time that I'd been gone was irrelevant. It was the here and now that was the most important to me. And the pain in the past wasn't worth bringing up because it was the present that made us all happy. So I accepted it, but Jennifer Olney, my mum, found it difficult and struggled with that and couldn't quite accept about stolen generation. She thought I was given up for adoption. For a long time she believed that. But then as the course of this movie, she accepted that I was stolen.
We were travelling up north, further north than Carnarvon, and we went through a station needing petrol or something, and we stopped at a remote place, and a couple of Aboriginal people came out to see what we wanted, and they saw Lois Mary in the back and said, "Who's that?" And we explained the situation briefly, that she was adopted, and these, one looked at the other, this couple, and the lady shook her head like this. She said, "Poor little fella." And of course in those days, well, it was that she turned out to be right. She shouldn't have been taken from a family, but she was. And at that time we thought we were doing the right thing, which turned out to be wrong. But you can't worry about that. She has her Aboriginal family, but she has a complete life as my daughter as well. And somehow the two meld together, and it's just really rock solid in our relationship.
I was born in Roebuck. I was stolen generation and adopted into a beautiful family, which is my family. I had the best of a wonderful world with my Olney family, and then later in my 20s and 30s I found my biological family with the help of lots of friends and aunties and kind people that helped me to find where I fitted in life. Amazing grace. To me, it's a big jigsaw puzzle. So each piece, that every time I come back, a piece of that jigsaw puzzle is put back in place. And I want the jigsaw puzzle complete. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.